All right, what up, YouTube? This is No Cap, No Filter. I'm your host, Molly G, back at y'all another episode of Run It With You. And today we got to bring Snoop Dogg to the front of the congregation, man. We got to run it with Snoop Dogg, man. Snoop Dogg had some choice of words that he was using, and it took a storm on social media. The way they worded it in the headlines, of course, it might be taken out of context, but yeah, man, he had some choice of words for the the exposure that they're putting in movies and TV shows in today's films with same-sex couples, you know, and is getting pushed in these films, and kids are watching it, and they're asking questions, and sometimes it's calls for uncomfortable conversations between their their parents, their older siblings, uncles, aunties, babysitters, because sometimes it gets caught off guard and it puts them on the spot, and they might not was ready for to have that conversation with said child. So we're gonna go ahead on without further ado and just get into what's been going on with this whole Snoop Dogg thing that's been taking the internet by storm. Let's go ahead on and get into it.
I took my grandson to see what was the movie with Buzz Light?
I think it's
Yeah,
called
with
Lightyear.
Kiki. And like, and she had a baby with a woman. Oh, I didn't come in for this. They putting it everywhere. What up, though? It's your boy Big Snoop D-O double G.
Snoop catching some heat for comments he made about LGBTQ representation on the It's Giving podcast. The rapper explaining his shock at seeing lesbian parents depicted on screen. The scene from the 2022 film marked Disney's first same-sex kiss.
Oh, my grandson in the middle of the movie, like, Papa Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman? She a woman. Oh, I didn't come in for this. Just came to watch the goddamn movie. Hey, man, watch the movie. So it's like, I'm scared to go to the movies now. Like, y'all throwing me in the middle of I don't have an answer for it.
The moment was almost axed from the theatrical cut, but Pixar.
All right, so that's what got the internet and the LGBTQ community in the uproar because to them he's inferring that he's scared to, you know, have his grandson or his children, exposed to what's going on in the world around them, like already. Like a lot of them feel like, why are you so scared of something that's, going on in the world around them already? They're gonna see it, they're gonna be exposed to it, they're gonna face it, one way or another. Like, why should you be scared of us? And I think it was kind of taken out of context. I think he was just more so saying like he's scared to be put in that predicament, because he probably wasn't ready to have that conversation with his grandson. He probably not ready to have that conversation with his granddaughter. He's probably not, you know, especially trying to have that conversation in the movie theater, at that point of time. That birds and the bees talk, you want to you want that talk to be in a nice controlled environment, real intimate between you and your child, and you want them to feel comfortable. You want to be comfortable, so you could just lay down everything in front of them and tell them, okay, this is how things are. And right now, in this era that we in this time of day we in 2025, you it's more explaining to do than back 20 years ago, because now it's just so many different uh it's so many different genders you would have to explain. It's so many different ways of life you would have to explain, how people choosing to live their life, how choosing people choosing to date. So it could be tough, but it's something that got to happen. I even had that conversation with my son. He's 14. I had that conversation with him not too long ago, and it was, I ain't gonna say it was tough for me, but it was it was kind of an experience, like every dad, every father gonna have to have that conversation with his son, and it's like, damn, I'm finally in this predicament right now, and he goes nothing, so. But you definitely want to set yourself up for success of the conversation, for your child to really hear you out, for your grandchild to really hear you out, and hopefully you could get through to them. And a lot of parents and grandparents, they're going to try to instill their beliefs on to their child, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you feel the world is a certain way, and you will want to uh protect, or you know mm, expose your child just to what's out there, you're gonna have to lay it to them and just give it to them straight, and everybody gonna have different beliefs. Everybody gonna have different beliefs on genders, religions. It is what it is what make humans humans. Let's go ahead on and proceed.
Our employees protested and got it reinstated.
It threw me for a loop. These are kids that we have to show that at this age, like
that part.
they're going to ask questions.
Yeah.
They are going to ask. I don't have the answer.
What'd you tell them?
Watch the movie. Eat this popcorn.
Shh. Snoop's hot take sparked criticism in the comments. One user saying, "It isn't that hard to explain. Science." Another chiming in with, "Being afraid of gay parents in movies is crazy." In this reply, "He was probably smoking weed while watching the movie."
We agree to disagree a lot, and it ain't always on the same page.
The 53-year-old, who's set to return to The Voice in September, has 3 grown children with his wife of nearly 30 years, Shantae, 1 son from another relationship, and 10 grandchildren.
Wait, what do the babies call you?
Papa Snoop. The part I love is that they all start off the same way. Like they start off crying and kind of like distant from me. I got to earn their trust.
Nah, just by him going on that show in September, I already know his PR gonna give him a whole bunch of talking points on what to say, what not to say. Basically to smooth over all his comments. You don't want to upset a certain group of people when you're so big. Now, as far as Snoop Dogg getting canceled, I don't think you could cancel Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is literally probably the most popular rapper that's alive right now. I will go as far as to say he is the most popular rapper. Now popular rapper ever. I don't know if he is more popular than Tupac, but right now alive, I definitely think Snoop is probably the most recognizable rapper alive today. So I don't think you could cancel Snoop Dogg. He's way too huge of a force. Like, this man could really like host Olympics. He got so much brand deals, so much sponsors. He's loved by so many different communities, and I mean, Snoop Dogg is as big as it gets, man. Everybody likes Snoop Dogg. Like, if you don't like Snoop Dogg, it's like, damn, you can't please everybody though. But I think Snoop Dogg gonna be ready for all the smoke that they're gonna give him with the questions, because I'm pretty sure that those questions are going to come in, and they're going to come in hot for him. But at the end of the day, I think people got to stand firm on their beliefs. I think people got to instill their beliefs in their children, and so long as it's not evil, so long as it's not racist, so long as it's not putting another group down. You could explain a group and their way of thinking to someone else without having to put them down. Because everybody is not going to live the same lifestyle you live in. Everybody's not going to see the same way of the world as you. You're just going to have to accept people for how they are, and that's what's going to have to be. Now, certain rules and certain laws you might not agree with. Now, I can understand that completely. You know, with the way they have the bathrooms and stuff like that. Like, if you got a problem with that, I can understand that completely. But if somebody chooses to date this certain gender, and if they want to have it in a movie, if they want to have it in a show, then you're just going to have to teach your children that this is the type of world that you're going to have to face. And I don't think it's going to slow down anytime soon. A lot of people are seeing it everywhere in commercials, everywhere in movies, and a lot of people feel like it's propaganda. It's getting pushed for a certain reason. What's the reason? We got all day for that. Like, it's very deep when it comes to that. But let me know what y'all think down below in the comment section. Y'all think Snoop was wrong for his comments? Y'all think it was just, a overreaction from everyone? Do y'all feel like it is, too much of a push in these movies and in these shows and commercials nowadays with, same-sex couples? Let me know down in the comment section below. Do you think Snoop Dogg could get canceled? But until next time, I'm out, man.